Days of relentless rain have pushed the region beyond failure, beyond flooding, beyond anything. What you're watching is a province-wide breakdown in real time. Streets turning into rivers, neighborhoods cut off, and the ground itself losing the strength to hold what humans built on top of it. In city centers, the water doesn't arrive like a tide. It arrives like a breach. Mud-thick currents tear through residential blocks and business streets, swallowing storefronts. Sold front yards and ground floors as if the city has no edges anymore. The floodline climbs fast past doors, past windows, past the point where people still believe they can save the room they are standing in. Families are forced upward. Balconies, stairwells, rooftops. Any place that buys height becomes a refuge. And you can see it in the way people move fast at first. Then frozen because at a certain depth, the water stops looking like weather and starts looking like a decision being made against you.
你这车还跑了，你瞧，我躺这真他要开的。
What makes this worse is how quickly the flood turns the city into a trap. Cars stall and die. Roads become moving channels of debris. A street that looks passable from a distance becomes a conveyor belt of mud. Branches, broken furniture objects turned into weapons by speed. The moment a vehicle loses traction, it's no longer transportation, it's cargo. Emergency crews push in with sandbags and barricades, trying to protect hospitals, schools, and public buildings, trying to keep the last pillars of normal life standing. But flash flooding doesn't respect barriers. It presses, it climbs, it finds the weak point, and it keeps coming. And then the infrastructure begins to collapse hard.
就不能值50年都可能没有。
Bridges crack as the water eats away what's underneath. Rural roads vanish first, then main roads start breaking at their seams. In some areas, highway sections give out entirely, concrete snapping, sliding, dropping because the flood doesn't just cover the road. It hollows the earth beneath it. When roads collapse, rescue collapses with them. Supply trucks turn back, relief convoys wait for hours. Entire towns fall out of reach, and the disaster multiplies not only from water, but from isolation. Then comes the blackout. Power lines sag low, buzzing, flickering, then going dead. Neighborhoods go dark while water is still rising. Communication weakens.
Nó hay quá hả? Rồi mình đéo yên lìa xíu chỉ. Oh, 好危险哦！ Maligned. Pumps fail. The systems that keep a modern city functioning light. Transit. Water starts shutting down one by one like a countdown. Underground spaces surrender first. Subway entrances. underground markets. So, stairwell anything below street level becomes a funnel. Water pours down steps like it's being poured into the city's lungs. Escalators stop mid-motion. Lights cut out. People sprint upward, because below them the flood is filling faster than panic can think. Parking garages become deep tank. Vehicles disappear beneath opaque water until only rooftops remain, and then even those vanish. Recovery won't be immediate. Some losses won't even be visible until the water recedes.
Meanwhile, out in the countryside, most extreme weather incidents in Hunnan's recorded history.
Beyond the cities, the flood spreads into farmland, turning fields into shallow lakes of silt and standing water. Crops flatten under mud. Livestock is moved through knee-deep floodwater as barns fill and fences fail. And when farmland is hit at this scale, the storm doesn't end when the rain stops. It continues in food loss, income loss, and months of recovery. Shelters are opening. Volunteers distribute dry clothes, flashlights, warm meals. Bulldozers clear what roads still exist. Authorities warn the ground remains saturated and unstable, meaning landslides can still...
Flooded neighborhoods.
这个长安铺子。
Because floods don't always end with the storm. Sometimes the storm ends, and the danger stays. When people return home, they won't return to damage. They'll return to aftermath, mud-caked floors, shattered windows, water lines on walls, appliances tipped over like the house itself tried to resist and failed, entire lives rearranged by a force that doesn't care what anything used to be. Shaanxi has seen floods before, but these looks like collapse. You're watching weather floods. We'll keep tracking the situation with calm, clear updates as conditions evolve. If this report helps you understand what's happening, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update.
Communications.
估计不得止50年都可能没有。
Rất hay quá hảo rồi mình đều yên lìa xíu chỉ
Meanwhile, out in the countryside, most extreme weather incidents in Hunan's recorded history. Flooded neighborhoods.
这个长安浦镇。
communications.